do.
What you got there?
A smoothie.
Bye-bye. Delivery free.
Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed that fun little intro. It took a decent bit of time to make, so a like and subscription would be appreciated. But today's video is about none other than the new Beyond Light exotic, Mask of Bakris. You can get this thing from Legendary or Master Lost sectors on days that they reward exotic helmets. If you can, you should definitely take the time to go out and grind for this thing. It's a beast in PvP and opens up a ton of opportunities for otherwise impossible kills. Let's talk about why. Mask of Bukake has the exotic perk Light Shift. When using your Stasis subclass, this will replace your dodge ability with a shift that can be compared to Blink. You'll travel a significantly further distance than a normal dodge, and be cloaked during its duration. For a short time after the shift, your weapons will also deal increased arc damage, and you'll deal bonus damage to enemies that are slowed or frozen by stasis. Let's talk about that new shift ability. It is strong inside of the Crucible, especially right now since people are still adjusting to it. Like I mentioned earlier, it covers a lot more distance than a normal dodge, which allows you to pull off kills that you otherwise probably wouldn't be able to do. One example is simply just using it to close the gap and get a quick shotgun blast off on the enemy. It's faster than sliding, double jumping, or really any other method you can use. It can easily catch people off guard and give you some easy kills. Even if someone does see you coming from a distance and, say, pulls out a shotgun to prepare, it can still trip them up. There's no real activation or wind-up period, which means you'll often be in their face and pulling the trigger while they're still expecting you to come in with a slide. I use Fell Winters for my build, but Xenoclast is a solid option too, since you'll take advantage of the bonus arc damage. Another really strong strategy is to use the shift to quickly get behind an enemy. If you shift at them when they're roughly within sliding range, you can reappear directly behind them and force them to reacquire you before they have any chance of fighting back. It's also a smart idea to make sure you have the Winter Shroud aspect equipped if you plan on making use of this strat. This is going to make your dodge apply a stasis slow effect to surrounding enemies, making it even harder for Guardians to turn and lock back onto you. Slowing enemies is also going to let you take advantage of the bonus damage the helmet provides, so everything is really just working together here to make you as hard to kill as possible. However, it's not all hearts, stars, and horseshoes with this helmet. The one aspect that can make pulling this off tough is how your camera behaves during the shift. It'll pull you into this third-person perspective and work pretty much as you would expect it to if you dodge in a single direction or don't try to aim during your shift. However, if you try and move around and turn your character during its activation, the third-person camera is going to have to do a lot of catching up, which can lead to some very disorienting moments. I'll use this clip from the intro as an example. As you can see, I'm attempting to do a bit of a 180 with my shift, so that I can get behind this enemy here. As the camera zooms back in from third person to first person, you can start to get an idea of what direction it's headed in. By this last frame before we're back in first person again, you'd expect that my character would be facing this dead end back here, or maybe the corner of this wall. When we advance to the next frame though, you'll see that I'm actually looking at the middle of this wall, almost directly at the enemy that was completely out of my field of view just a single frame ago. Camera quirks like this can cause you to under or overcompensate your aim, and turn what should be a free kill into an embarrassing death. I imagine with some experience this won't be much of an issue, but it's definitely a hurdle when you first start using the exotic. Another important thing to note, your shift cooldown does not start immediately after finishing a shift. Your character gets a 10-second buff after completing one, and the cooldown will not start to recharge until that buff wears off or you die. This means that even with max mobility, the best you're going to do cooldown wise is about 20 seconds, which isn't bad, but it's not nearly as spammable as the normal dodge is. But those are really the only downsides to this thing. I went into detail about how you can use it offensively, but it's also a great tool to nope out of sticky situations. Going from cover to cover or dipping out of losing gunfights is even easier now that it happens near instantly. Overall, Mask of Bakris is a tank of an exotic, and you should definitely go out and farm for it right now. That's all I've got for you today, fellas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.